We're going to taste some more wine today, aren't we?
Excellent.
Very good. One of my favorites, Lady Lake Viognier. This was actually one of the first two wines we actually started when we started Zonte's Footstep out in 2003. We made a 100% Viognier, and then the Lake Doctor, which is the Shiraz Viognier co-fermentation, which is emulating or paying homage to, Côte Rôtie from the Côte du Rhône. Anyhow, Viognier, love it. Opportunity came back, swings and roundabouts, to be able to work with some organically certified fruit. And, for me, the time within the marketplace, the global marketplace, the persistence of organics in the realm of food and wine has become very much more to the forefront. And what we really want to do at Zonte's is make sure that we educate people what the real meaning of organics is in wine, at least from our standpoint, and also from what it is to be certified and what you get as a consumer. Anyhow, Lady of the Lake Viognier. Let's crack the bottle open. Always best to actually have a little bit in the glass while we're tasting it and talking about it and smelling it. I guess my lifetime in the wine business, I've found out that Viognier, you either, as a grape variety, you either love it or you hate it. There's no in-betweens with it. The one thing I guess that we do with this is we really focus within our entire organic range of wines that we do, the 4 products. We really focus on the fruit. The winemaking process across all of the wines is made in a Jovan sort of youthful, minimal winemaking artifact point of view. We don't do a lot of wood. Actually, the Viognier in our rosé doesn't see any oak at all. It's 100% stainless steel fermented. So it really is about trying to get that, impact and expression and structure out of what the grape variety has to offer. So anyways, as I always do, I digress a bit. Viognier, some people call it Viognier. It's Viognier. Yalumba have always been the ones that have pushed on this, which is great. And thankfully, we've got them steering the helm of the boat. And for me, we're doing what we do. And this is about really showcasing the grape variety for what it has to offer. That real unctuous, concentrated sort of grapefruit, honeysuckle, fresh cut pear. You can even pick up a little bit of vanilla pod on it, at the back. I'm leading you into it a bit, but to me there's that real vanilla pod characteristic. It's almost perfumed, and I think that's what can really put some people off when they look at Viognier, is it's quite oily and concentrated on the nose and also in the mouth. Again, 100% stainless steel fermented, so it's got that lovely, bright, crisp line of acidity to it, but it's mouth-filling and textural. If you drink Chardonnay, this is definitely a grape variety I think that you should move to that has more aromatics, more fruit, more flavor to it. The other incredible thing about Viognier that I love, even though this is 100% stainless steel fermented, with time in bottle, this will develop this oily, rich, textural roundness. It'll almost pick up this sort of brioche characteristic on the palate naturally from the grape variety itself, not to do with winemaking artifact. And, in 10, 15, 20 years time, and we know it does it because you've experienced it, we've opened up some of that 2003 and 2005 that we have in our museum stock, and it's just amazingly beautiful, deep, concentrated, oily, textural wine. So that's what I love about this, is there's so much character and expression in it. It's not this timid, demure, frail little wine. It's got everything going on in it. I like it with a lot of Asian influence too. With the texture and that oily characteristic, it can handle things with like fresh chili and a bit of that salty sort of fish sauce, soy sauce characteristics, umami. I guess from a historical point of view, Viognier obviously has this inherent sort of contribution to the Rhône, which is where the home of Syrah or Shiraz is, Grenache, Mataro or Mourvèdre, Viognier. And it's used to make Côte Rôtie, which is co-fermented with a red grape variety. The sciences in the field of wine about, I don't know, I think it was about 15, 20 years ago, they actually genetically proved that Viognier is albino Shiraz. And that's why it does work so well when we co-ferment it, is because genetically it's just a very distant cousin.
Yeah.
So genetically it's albino Shiraz. So obviously what they said was 400 odd years ago, someone isolated this one grapevine out in the vineyard that didn't actually have any color or pigment to it, and they just basically grafted and propagated off that vine over the last 400 years to have it become its own variety. So there's a little interesting tidbit. But for me, it's really about, everything that we do within our organic range is actually about talking about what is organics. And anyone that knows Zontes knows that we are very, pro minimal interventionalist when it comes to with our winemaking process. It's about getting the best quality fruit possible out of our vineyards first. Makes my job as a winemaker a whole lot easier to try and, preserve that fruit and give it as an expression to our customer at the end of the day. To me, that's the differentiation between all the wines that are in the marketplaces. If you can tell the story between the grape variety and the soil it grows in and its position on Mother Earth, that's a unique little perspective. Anyhow, Lady of the Lake, Fleurio. We know from us, Fleurio is the greater GI that incorporates the McLaren Vale, the Langhorne Creek, Finnis River, where we grow quite a bit of fruit, and then down towards Victor Harbor. So it's the greater area that incorporates all those subregions. We used to actually grow Viognier when we first started out on our vineyard down in the Langhorne Creek, right beside Lake Alexandrina, and that's where we came up with the name Lady of the Lake, because of the proximity to the body of water and the cooling effect that it used to have. We now actually get this off of a organic grower that we deal with. So it comes within the Fleurio region. And for me, again, it's telling the story about this grape variety. I just love it. It's great food wine. It goes fantastic with Thai food. It's really, really good with barbecued white meats, like chicken and pork. I like my pork. This is good. But, just as an all-rounder drink, it's fantastic. It's deep depth, lots of texture, richness of flavor.
Delicious. What about the label?
Wow, there you go. Totally forgot. Thanks for bringing that up. So if you look at the label, the artwork's totally different than our other range of wines. And that's because Sarah Ainsbury, who's another artist friend of ours, she also does a lot of our print work for us. She actually, when I started talking to her about this project, wanted to do the artwork. So she came up with these images after I told her the stories in the background. The Lotus floating on the lake. It is a feminine image. So for me, it's that peaceful expression of what Viognier has to offer. And within the artwork, the original artwork she drew is right behind me on the wall there. What I wanted to do was within the artwork itself, all those flavor components that I see or taste within the wine are used inside that. So it's the same across all the 4 wines that we have within the organic range. And I love this package. I think it looks really great.